paper leak on social media, and now a re-examination. CBSE announcing a re-examination of Class 10 Mathematics and Class 12 Economics exams.
Careers of lakhs of students is currently in jeopardy as the CBSE has announced and notified that examination for Class 10 Mathematics and Class 10 Mathematics and Class 12 Economics will be reheld again.
मुझे समझ नहीं आ रहा कि मैं इको पढूं फिर से या फिर एंट्रेंस की प्रिपरेशन करूं, तो मैं कंफ्यूज्ड हूं और इको का एग्जाम ये लोग फिर से ले रहे हैं.
इट्स नॉट लाइक फाइन क्योंकि हम पहले पूरे 1.5 साल पढ़ते हैं एंड देन उसके बाद हमें बोलता है कि पेपर लीक हो गया तो रीटेस्ट दो. पूरे साल की 1.5 साल की मेहनत गई बिकॉज ऑफ सम पीपल.
ग्रेड तो खैर दूर की बात, अब अगर मैं चाहूंगा भी कि अगर CBSE मेरे लिए कोई और पेपर बनाए, मैं उसके लिए 2 बार सोचूंगा.
Union HRD Minister promising strict action against those who leak the details, assuring young India that it will not happen again.
नया एक चोरी का प्रकार है या लीक करने का जो नया तरीका है, पुलिस भी जांच करेगी, लेकिन हम तकनीक के सहारे उसको ऐसा पुख्ता बनाएंगे कि कोई इसका लीक नहीं होगा. आप शांति से अध्ययन करिए और विश्वास से परीक्षा दीजिए, किसी पर भी अन्याय नहीं होगा, ये हम देखेंगे.
But CBSE is a repeat offender when it comes to jeopardizing the future of students. From more paper leak controversies this year to compromising the safety of answer sheets and delaying results, CBSE has repeatedly failed students. Tonight on Mirror Now, we ask, who is responsible for the repeated paper leaks? How soon will the government act against the corrupt? Let's debate.
Lakhs and lakhs of students have answered the CBSE exams this year, and this is relevant to all of us, not just those students who've taken the exams this year, but those of us who have children who are within the CBSE system, those who are not within the CBSE system who are going to be affected anyway. Remember that the CBSE has been a repeat offender. Papers have been leaked, examination results have been delayed, futures have been toyed with. And year after year, government after government, we get the same response. We're looking into it, we'll do an investigation, we'll see what happens. But that response is no longer good enough. The head of the CBSE must go, because these people obviously no longer know what they're doing. Our phone lines are open, and the thing that was most shocking was the number of parents in our office who threw their hands on their heads and said, oh no, our children are going to have to answer this exam one more time because the 10th standard 2 students just finished their exams. To be told again that they'll have to retake the examinations, that the results will likely be delayed as well. All of this will also affect, remember, the entrance exams that they will have to take for any sort of higher future studies. Why is our education system so weak? Joining us on the show, Aarti Sati, spokesperson of the BJP in Mumbai, D. Shashi Kumar, principal of Blossom School and the general secretary of the Associate Management of Private Unaided English Schools in Karnataka. Avisha Kulkarni is an advocate and an activist who's specifically been dealing with education. Dr. Onika Mehrotra will join us through the conversation. She's an educationalist. L. Ravichandra is an activist, is an advocate, I beg your pardon. Keshav Agarwal, a teacher who alerted the CBSE of the paper leak. The Raj Manjari, former ACP Mumbai, will also join us, as well as one particular student from the 10th standard. Let me just start, with Avisha Kulkarni. Avisha, what is your response right now to the fact that we've seen another paper leak and these many students are going to have to answer their exams again?
It's just ridiculous, you know. I don't understand what the government is doing. Right now, I just feel that all the governments, all the ministers, everybody is just interested in playing politics. What the opposition is saying, how to save our chairs, they are only interested in that. They are not worried about the future of this nation's children, and that is why year after year, every year we see that the paper leaks happening and the ministers only saying repeatedly the strict action will be taken. You take 3 years back their bite, they would have said the same thing, and today after 3-4 years also we are hearing the same thing. So what did you do in these 3 years? Nothing. So you are just playing with the future of our children, which is absolutely not tolerable anymore. How long parents and children can tolerate this? Do you think, would you like that if you lose the elections, or elections have happened and there is some tampering, and if you have to redo the election, how will you feel? That time you will make a big hue and cry, because that's the question of your power. But students are right now powerless. They're depending on the system, and system, nobody is interested in putting it in place. But I think it is a high time that the parents, the students, and the people of this nation are losing the coolness. And if you do not put the system in place, then you will have to face the consequences.
Well, let me take this question straight to Aarti Sati, spokesperson of the BJP here. Ms. Sati, thank you for joining us. 24 lakh students have answered the 12th standard exams this year with the CBSE, out of which 6 to 7 lakh have taken the particular exam that has to be retaken. In class 10, 12 lakh students. Does the government not take these students seriously or their futures seriously?
First of all, let me tell you that you know, it's very unfortunate what has happened, and clearly the intention of the government is not to inconvenience the students. We've never really, you know, we've always promoted education. The Prime Minister himself has issued a statement and spoken to the HRD Minister, Education Minister, Mr. Javadekar today, and said that strict action needs to be taken, and he's rather pained with the fact that this leakage of you know, the CBSE papers has really happened. Let me also point out that this leakage has, and I'm not trying to say that, you know, the damage, even small or big, is a damage, but the leakage has happened only in some parts which have been reported from Delhi. Overall, there has not been any leakage. So clearly there are some sort of miscreants, some gang which is working and using technology, you know, to their advantage and to the disadvantage of the students and the administration. And we are very sure that action is going to be taken, and it is being taken. FIRs already have been put in place under the IPC cheating and criminal breach of trust. There will be arrests and a foolproof system so that the technology leak doesn't happen. The National Testing Agency also has been put into action. So as far as this leak is concerned, it's rather unfortunate. We completely empathize and sympathize with the students, and we will see to it that
let me point out to you, Aarti Sati,
what has happened today is truly unfortunate.
Let me point out to you that while you say there are some miscreants in Delhi who might have leaked this, with WhatsApp today, those papers have gone across the country, and every student across the country is going to have to answer their exams again. It shouldn't have leaked in the first place. This is, you know, this is so disrespectful of the students who have to study to actually answer their exams. D. Shashikumar is the principal of Blossom School in Bangalore. D. Shashikumar, do you believe that the CBSE is doing its job?
Definitely I don't think so, because CBSE board, it is being the examination board, it has forgotten its actually work. It is now feeling that it is a board with regulatory powers. And it is ridiculous to believe that such a big mischief and leak of paper and again calling back for a re-examination. It is the complete failure of the CBSE board, which is controlled by MHRD, and now either Prime Minister comes and gives a statement, or MHRD Minister comes and gives that statement. End of the students are the victims here. The panic, the anxiety, the frustration, the situation across their mind, you know, you can't just compensate it with any of the other remedial. And the second part is, it is not the just misusing of question paper. It is the organized crime in this sector. Especially the same incident took place 2 years down the line in Karnataka within the PUC department of Government of Karnataka Education Department. At that time, the government took it very hard, cracked down, put them behind bars, then started investigation, then you could get layers of different type of operations under getting this big racket busted. And you could find it from many people's end, and now there are few people are behind bar. The thing is, something concretely a government has to take and fix this thing, so that there should be an installation of fear one who does this, and these culprits are within the system and outside the system too. So we always say there is a lobby between this, especially the big mafia like tutorials and chain of schools and colleges. These are the people behind that. That is a direct allegation. We as a largest association and the private school management association, we have some information on this which we could share in our Karnataka, and this is what even.
So why haven't you taken any of that information to the authorities?
Suspicious. Please, we want.
Why haven't you taken, if you believe that there is an excess of some sort?
We used to, at that point of time when...
Why haven't you taken any of that information to the authorities?
No, this is a routine process happening. It is not that we know. These are the people within the system. And they are trying to get these papers out for their best benefit. And this is happening, it is not the first time, it has been now blown.
Right,
but
let me also bring in Dr. Mehrotra, Dr. Onika Mehrotra is an educationist.
And we brought it into the knowledge. And
yes, Dr. Onika Mehrotra joins us from Delhi, she's an educationist. Dr. Mehrotra, I just want to point out to you, in 2006, there was one leaked paper of business studies. 2011, 3 people charged of leaking a question paper of the CBSE exam, science and mathematics class 12. This went on up. Last year, there was a paper leak as well. Around 15,43,962 students had appeared, and they had to, there were leaks last year as well. Please tell me if you believe that Mr. Rajesh Kumar Chaturvedi, the chairperson of the CBSE, why hasn't he resigned yet? Why does he still have a job?
Yes, actually, it is. I mean, we are at a loss of words. The examination word itself creates a lot of stress on the parents and the students. Imagine appearing it again for it, no matter how much we counsel them. But yes, you're right, ma'am. When you knew that things are happening, things should have been, they should have taken a more serious look at it. But on the other hand, I would like to also say, ma'am, when it comes to paper checking also, I feel this year, because I am also the examiner, I keep seeing how the process goes on in CBSE. Even the process of examination, they have really streamlined this year. I mean, they're trying their best to make sure that minimum pressure or, the child faces minimum fear about it. Let's say the examination pattern. It was not done in a very systematic manner. Now, one paper is being checked by 3 people, so that minimum mistakes are given and a child is not penalized. So that, in that aspect, the CBSE has really worked quite a bit this year. I can show you the parameters, the line, the way they have given us the instruction, how to check the papers.
Can you first can you just tell me that last year the paper leak happened? What action have you taken on that? Do you have the information for all the people who are watching now to tell them that last year when the paper was leaked and so many lakhs of students had to take the exam again, what justice have you given them? What action was taken on those who had leaked the papers, and what CBSE has done on that?
That's exactly what I said in the beginning of my statement, that when CBSE knew that this is happening year after year, or in a gap, the things should have been taken more seriously.
Ma'am, give me the concrete reply.
This is a question for Aarti Sathe actually. Aarti Sathe, you said that the HRD minister has taken cognizance. The Prime Minister has made a phone call saying that obviously the government is very worried about the fact that so many students, and I'll tell you what the government should be particularly worried about, Aarti Sathe. Class 12 students are what, 18 years old?
Yes.
First time voters, Aarti Sathe. first-time voters in the 2019 election are
What
going
is
to be
the
very
action taken
disappointed
by
in this
this
government for
when
not
it is
having the
being repeated?
ability to organize an examination without leaking a paper and causing them distress. If the government was truly serious, answer Ms. Kulkarni's question. What happened to last year's paper leak?
The government...
What action was taken? Who have you arrested? Who has been charged?
Exactly.
Look, let me tell you that these are not some sort of crocodile tears which we are shedding for the students. The agony, or rather the distress which has been caused to the students, we are completely empathetic towards that. And the only reason why this re-examination is going to be held for class 12th and class 10th is because we need to bring in a fair and transparent system. If there have been glitches in the past,
our question is, what action have you
if they
taken
have not
on
been
the
addressed
people
properly-
who had
No, one
leaked
minute,
the papers
1 minute.
last year? Our question is very, very
Question is not
simple.
answered.
There's no
The
answer.
action is being taken and has been taken even against them.
Can you please
The
let the
progress
people
of the
know
case
about it?
obviously will be, over a period of time we will know. But as far
has
as
been
today's
named?
action is concerned,
punished?
let me tell you that if there are glitches which have not been taken into consideration, people have, the FIRs have been taken, have already been put in place. FIRs have been lodged. The arrests will be made in
That
due
means
course.
nothing,
But
ma'am.
like
That
I
means
said, and I've
nothing. You
repeatedly
give me
said on
the
every
reply.
show
What happened?
that
What
when a
action have you taken
when a
on
crime
the
takes place,
persons who had leaked the papers last year? What action CBSE, government, all of you have taken?
Yes.
Can you give us the concrete reply? Do you have the papers to show us? These are the people, we arrested them, they have been punished like this, and this is what? Do you have any concrete reply to that?
At this point of time, I do not have any papers to show you because clearly, well, I was not asked to show the papers. I'm not supposed to show these papers right now. But
Because
let me
you
tell
have
you
them.
that
RTI, you
even
can,
against those
show.
people, action has been taken. And the due process of
seriously
law,
doubt that.
and the due process of law will, it will happen. After the complaints, after the investigation is made, then obviously the criminal courts will try them. So it's not that the due process of law is not being followed even in those cases. Similarly, in these cases also, due process of law is being followed. Let me tell you at the same time
Mr.
that
Vanjari
when
right
I
now who
also
joins us.
earlier
Mr.
said
Vanjari,
in
I'm
this
just going
show
to read out
that
your-
technology in that sense,
No, I'm just going to read out Prakash
technology
Javdekar's
becomes a boon
statement.
and curse in today's time. Today,
Well, you have to stay on top of technology,
please.
which is why we pay our taxes and expect the government to hire people who know their job. My argument remains that the chairperson of the CBSE, Mr. Chaturvedi, needs to go. Now, let me read out this statement by the minister today. He said the Delhi police has formed a special team to look into the matter. The police is treating this very seriously, be it on WhatsApp or on other places. They are looking into all aspects. We have full faith in their investigation, whoever is behind it. Be it a gang operation or this one person, we will find them and give them strict punishment.
This is as lame as the politically stipulated replies being given nowadays in the whole nation and society. The first question comes, somewhere I read the HRD minister had said that now I ensure that in future no such leakage would happen. Does it mean that earlier that guarantee was not there? That is the stake of the governance, that is the stake of the administration in education. The very prime question here, when on 4th March, the first advance information came to CBSE headquarters, and that too in HRD also, why at that time they failed to inform and involve the police machinery, investigating machinery at that point of time. Now lodging FIR is like chidiya chug gayi khet, ab jage kya fayda. It is like that. The madam is shouting of earlier leakages, what action so far is going. Political faction is saying on national channel that she doesn't have any data or any substantial information to share with the nation. Then the second question comes, if the advance information was given, whether that letter was also addressed to the police establishments or that email was sent to any police establishment, these are the things we need to verify and investigate. And if on 4th March, the CBSE was in knowledge that some people are trying to pilferage the system and getting the things leakage on the paper, very important 10th and 12th exam.
Yes.
Why they have not informed the police? Why that time they have not made a FIR? And why that time they have not even informed the HRD? Now today's reply, as you read, Faye, is so lame a excuse on political people that they do not have a responsibility of governance in this country.
Right, I want to bring in our callers on the phone line right now. UK Das on the phone line from Kolkata. Mr. Das, go ahead, please.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
UK Das from Kolkata. Yeah. I have a suggestion or a request to the panelists that CBSE board, they should pay back the money to the students and their parents, whoever has planned for their vacation on production of tickets with the penalties.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what while Mr. Das, that will be a quite an amusing solution. I'll tell you why it won't work, because the CBSE board will pay it out of our tax money. Kisi ka ghar ka paisa nahi hai. It's not like Mr. Chaturvedi, Mr. Rajesh Kumar Chaturvedi. I'm going to keep saying that name so you know that name. This is the chairperson of the CBSE. It's not like he's going to take it out of his personal bank account and refund your money. He will refund it out of your own money, which is your tax money and the money you pay as fees that goes to the board.
Here.
Yes, go ahead. Mr. Shashi Kumar, go ahead. Okay, one second. Let me just go over to L. Ravichandra. Let me just go over to L. Ravichandra, who's an advocate who joins us from Hyderabad. Mr. Ravichandra, thank you for joining us. What is your stand on this? My particular ask is, why isn't the CBSE chairman being made accountable? Why isn't he making a public statement? More importantly, why isn't he being asked to step down? Because of the number of mishandling and cases, bad cases that this board has shown us. Mr. Ravichandra, go ahead.
I think, you know, this let's get heads off is some kind of a knee-jerk reaction. While I believe that he must account to it and walk out of his office if he has an iota of self-respect with him, I'm not surprised, not a tad surprised, that he has not left. Well, this is not the practice in this country. We don't have Lal Bahadur Shastris any longer in this country to resign and accept responsibility for what is happening. Having said that, you know, this whole examination system in this country, and I think we need to take a call on this, you know, year after year after year after year, either it's Punjab or it's Karnataka or it's Andhra Pradesh or it is some other state. Show me a state where you don't have a leak of question papers. And why does this happen? Because the victims of this are not an electoral college. They do not constitute a political constituency to which the government has to cater to. But so they're all very comfortable and cozy. Politicians don't think a bit about these boys and girls. You came up with a very relevant point. You said 18-year-old.
But you know, I want to point out to you, Ravichandra, like I pointed out some time ago, that all 12 standard students are now, or going to be in the next 6 months, 18 years old, which means they will be first-time voters in the 2019 election. If that doesn't scare a government, I don't know what should. Yes.
I think you are waking up the government now, because when you say that there will be the voters.
Yes. No, let me give you the numbers. 24 lakh students took the 12th standard exams this year. That's a lot of votes across the country. It's otherwise known as what can swing an election, Aarti Sathi.
Therefore, the government is not bothered. The government is not bothered. The government is not bothered because this 24 lakhs is across the country. And also understand, we parents are all Marxists. Why don't we have examinations that do not evaluate children on the basis of what they perform on a single day?
Right. Let me in fact, Mr. Ravichandran, bring in our reporter, our correspondent Bhavtosh joins us on the phone line. Bhavtosh, thank you so much for joining us. What update do you have on the FIR that has been filed and the investigation that the Delhi police is conducting into these paper leaks?
FIRs have been filed by the Delhi police. The probe is being conducted by Crime Branch. One FIR deals with the economics paper that was leaked, and the second is the class 10 mathematics paper. Now, sources say that Special CP Crime will himself supervise the entire probe, And they have said, they have in fact told Times Network that they suspect that the paper could have been leaked from the exam center, because in 98% of such leaks, it's the exam center from where these papers are leaked. And it happened the previous night before these exams, students took these exams. They said that a WhatsApp started circulating. They have roped in even the special cell of the Delhi police to find from where exactly this WhatsApp was leaked. They have also said that they are in touch with the CBSE official. CBSE on its part claimed that the leak never happened from the headquarters in East Delhi, and most probably the leak could have happened from the examination center. What is most important is the role that has been played by the coaching centers and these tutorial centers. They suspect that teachers of these coaching centers could also be involved in this racket. While they claim that they will crack the case within 48 hours, the fact that the question paper went viral on WhatsApp would only make their problem worse, because it's very tough to find from where this has in fact originated. But they are hopeful of cracking this case in next 2 days.
And Bhavtosh, do we have any information so far on the fresh dates for these exams, economics for the 12th standard and mathematics for the 10th standard?
As of now, not. The CBSE has said that they know that students as well as parents are very angry, and they are making their best attempt to assuage all their fears as well as their anger. But they have said that within next 10 to 15 days, the exams could take place. A very big problem for students, because exams got over, and these complaints, interestingly, were filed on 27th and 28th, much later than the leaks actually happened.
All right, Bhavtosh,
I at least hope that they will announce the dates which are not clashing with other exams, because 12 students also take a lot of entrance exams, and if they clash with this exam, then they might lose on to either of them.
So there are a lot of entrance examinations, medical science, IIT exams like that. And the government should also perhaps then consider postponing those exams, because what will happen now effectively is the preparation time for the entrance exam has been cut short by the fact that they have to take one more exam right now. Aarti Sate, what is the government's stand on the entrance exams, the national entrance exams at least, so the other entrance exams these students will have to take? Will those exams be postponed? Is there clarity on when the fresh dates will be announced?
So CBSE has already put out on the website that the new dates for these exams, the re-exams of economics and mathematics for standard 12th and 10th, are going to be put up shortly. Clearly, if there is a clash between the other national entrance exams, then those dates will be pushed ahead, because we do not want to inconvenience the students further. But that will be subject to once the CBSE exam dates are put out. Now, of course, this is in regard to your question which you asked about the clash of dates. But I have been hearing the entire debate, and you know, this constant feeling that the government is not doing enough, or the government is you know, not doing enough because the students don't really form a major vote bank as far as the government is concerned. I think that message somewhere needs to you know, be right at the beginning be thrashed out, to say that we don't look at every issue only as a vote bank issue. This is an issue about the future of our students. We as a government, we as a party have always given priority to the students. We have always been aware of this very aspirational generation that today we are catering to. So to say that government is not sensitive because the students don't form a vote bank is a wrong message which is being put out here.
It's very nice to hear you say all these things, but ask a parent like me who has gone through what approach to all the governments and what government has done for our victimized children.
I don't think this message should go out. I don't think this message should go out. This is not a political issue.
You are giving that message.
Okay, all right. So let me just ask you this question then, Aarti Sate.
Perpetrated. No, 1 minute. Now let me speak. I was listening to everybody very patiently. This is an issue where there is a racket which is of probably the tutorial classes, which just now your reporter said, which is of course subject to once the investigation.
But why have you not been able to stop it? Last 3 years.
Admit the negligence of governance.
That is being busted at this point of time. This is not a question
Aarti Sate. Okay, all right. So the government, so these are the things you have said. The government is serious. The government empathizes. The government understands what these children are going through. Now tell me this. 2006 paper leak, what is the investigation, what is the update? 2011 paper leak, what is the investigation, what is the update? 2017 paper leak, what is the investigation, what is the update? 2017 examination results came 1 month late. Those children were being tortured because all of their plans went for a toss. They couldn't apply to universities. All of that happened, and now we have another paper leak and fresh assurances from various governments, government after government, saying we're serious, we're taking this seriously, we take you seriously, we take your parents seriously, we take your schooling seriously. You don't take anything seriously. If the government had actually intended to take something seriously, you would have made one arrest. You would have prosecuted one case, any case of the ones that I just called out.
2011, the leaks which have taken place, there have been arrests and the people in charge have been removed from their offices, is the report which I have. 2006 was actually a chance case where really they were looking at the bomb blast somewhere around Varanasi, and in certain hotel rooms they found papers being leaked, and there also action has been taken. So it's not that action has not been taken. It's not that government has, in fact, this government in fact is making every possible step to see that there is now no further leakage even through the technology. Because
yes, in fact, Aarti, we have a couple of people on the phone line right now. You're going to want to listen to them. So, 1 second. Agya is a CBSE student who's calling in from Bihar. Agya, go ahead. We can all hear you. Go ahead. Agya, मेरी आवाज आप तक आ रही है? Go ahead. We can hear you.
I am speaking.
अपनी टेलीविजन को म्यूट कीजिए. Reduce the volume of your television and go on. We can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, say. I am telling that the student who has given the exam with full honesty, then what about them? Paper was leaked in some places.
Yes.
And
अरे मेरी आवाज आप तक आ रही है. आप बताइए, आपको क्या लगता है कि ये अनफेयर है?
What about them? Yeah, it is unfair for the student who has given exam very honestly.
It's unfair for students. Sameer on the phone line from Haridwar. Sameer, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, what my point is, it's very pertinent. Please try to understand. Last year and for last 15 years, Mr. Ganguly, in fact, came on various television channels, who was ex-head of CBSE, saying that there was a normalization process. What I fail to understand is this kind of scrapping the examination is just a foolhardy approach. 20 marks are already provided to the students from the school. Why they could not have used the normalization process here? Last year already the courts have said that yes, normalization process is okay. In case they would have gone ahead with the normalization process, even in case the cases would have been filed in the court, they could have gone ahead and said that this is the method by which we are able to check out. They could have generated an algorithm by virtue of which any student who would have secured something like 100 out of 100 but has not been able to get sufficient marks in his school, out of 20 exam marks, the case could have, the things would have normalized there. Class 10th examinations have been de-glamorized for a long period of time now. What is the reason for such kind of an examination to be conducted all across India? Number two, in case each and every examination has got so many papers, like in case you have got a NEET examination, there are so many papers of that kind. Why can't we have a 20-25 question paper set approximately of same difficulty level all across India, so that these kind of, even in case there are certain leaks, which definitely of the size of India will be there.
Yes.
What I fail to understand also is that when there are various ways by which you could have mended this particular problem, could have easily, like normalization process here would have been the most appropriate thing, and the students would not have been put to much hassle, and even this would have gone through a go-ahead from courts. Finally,
yes,
the last
yes.
point is
okay. Dr. Onika Mehrotra wants to respond to you. Dr. Mehrotra, go ahead.
you see, to be very honest, papers in the CBSE are kept in tight security. Unfortunately, when they are delivered from the CBSE to the schools, that's where the lapse happens. So I think the CBSE should now, whatever's happened, should now take utmost care that it's their person who comes and delivers it. And the papers are not open before time. You see,
so
that's majorly where it happens, because it's from the bank, the papers are taken, they're sealed. Hold on, yeah, let me also complete now. You see, easier said than done. The papers are sealed, there is seal on it. If the seal is tampered and broken, the person concerned should report to it there and then, before it goes out to the centres.
This is not a
it is not just, a child's play. The CBSE goes through a rigorous progress. But yes, it must have leaked. The curb should take place here right away. They have paid attention to the checking methodology. They should have paid heed to the examination, because it is ruining the future of the children. No, they cannot be spared at this juncture of just saying that, like I said, there is lapses between the centres. They cannot get away with that. Yes, the police should look into it, and their modularity should be found out as to how we can, stop our children being harassed. And because the Delhi University will start their examination entrance, the entrance exam will begin. So the time is now. The children should be settled down. They should be calmed down, because the loss is immense. You cannot go back in what has been done.
No, but you make it sound like, Dr. Mehrotra, you said that the CBSE today, this year at least, looked at the manner in which papers are checked. They should also look at the manner in which papers are guarded. Can the CBSE only do one thing at a time? This is their level of efficiency. They can either look at the process of evaluation, or they can look at the process of security. They can't do more than one thing in a year. I find this atrocious, and I still don't understand why Rajesh Kumar Chaturvedi has not made a public statement, why the CBSE has not come out to face the music. Come out and face the music. You screwed up on your job. You screw up repeatedly year after year. Come out and take accountability.
He is responsible, and he should have done that. He should have done that. He is responsible for all that. After all, you're heading the institution. You're heading the CBSE. Ultimately, everything falls on your shoulder. You cannot work in, divided zones. And the totality of CBSE is not only the conduction of examination, the paper checking, the marks you put on time. There are various factors. The CBSE should get their job right. You are absolutely right on that. But the time now is that you cannot just keep harping what has happened. We have to rectify this fault now.
Unfortunately, we can't rectify it. We need the CBSE to come out and rectify it. And they're refusing to accept that they even have a problem. I don't know how they're going to solve that problem. I'm going to go back to L. Ravichandran. Mr. Ravichandran, here's the serious problem I have right now. We understand that at least, in Maharashtra, several other states, nobody wants to take the state syllabus anymore. In fact, state syllabus schools are appealing to governments, allow us to turn into ICSE or CBSE, because we don't want to be state syllabus anymore. Governments are not paying salaries on time. They're not getting their grants on time. We find out that the CBSE, which is the national board, is full of mistakes and problems and full of issues in their textbooks. What are our children supposed to do?
Yeah, where's the doubt? And that,
where are the children supposed to go?
That's exactly what I'm...
Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, go ahead.
Yeah. See, this is exactly what I am saying. Look at all the answers we get from the Babus. They are all template answers. Cases are filed. We are trying our best. Law will take its own course. What kind of template answers are they giving us? The whole problem is we seem to believe that the CBSE or the ICSE is better than the SSE, because the SSE is a known devil. Today, the bluff is called. And what do we have? We have educationals coming in telling us that one governmental form. Now, here's a politician telling us our government is serious about students. We expect all governments. There is no our government, your government. There is a government. The politicians who run these governments may be different. But tragically, what's happened with the Vyapam till today? How many people have been killed in the Vyapam tragedy till today? We still have not gone to the root of the matter. How is it? I think we'll either need a Nietzsche and Superman or Bhagwan Kalki to come and sort out this problem. And Look at the parents today. They are saying my children have entrance exams to write. I would have said I would want my children to become better human beings. Today we are talking about marks, marks, marks. Why don't we shift from saying we have a better examination system? This examination system is a hoax. Asking children to take an examination for a year in 3 hours. Let's call this bluff. Why is it that leaks don't happen in examinations in the West? Why is it that children prepare and write examinations with less tensions in the West? Because they are asked to write an examination over a period in time and not for a few days.
So Ravichandran, you obviously want to rehaul the entire education process at this point. Let's take it one step at a time. Maybe Aarti Sathi. Yes, I understand what you're saying.
The demand now is surgical. Let's stop being cosmetic about this.
All right, let me bring in Aarti Sathi. Aarti Sathi, one of our viewers, Mr. Sharma on Involve, has a very good suggestion. I think the government might consider it. He said the government has built 15-foot walls to protect the Aadhaar data. Maybe we should build 15-foot walls to also protect the question papers at this point, because that seems to be the government's understanding of technology and how to protect data. Is that a good suggestion, Aarti Sathi? Shall we take that suggestion, give it to the government or give it to the CBSE?
Absolutely. I think that's a very valid and a good suggestion. Like now in the Aadhaar and the UIDAI is introducing the VID system and the limited KYC system. Similarly, really to make it foolproof. And like I said earlier also in one of your shows, that technology today has really become a boon and a curse. We have to, I mean, there have been, your channel and various channels have been debating on these various leaks which have been happening world over. So we have to make the system foolproof, and hence Mr. Zavadekar has also suggested and spoken to the National Testing Agency to make this technology foolproof so that there are no further leakages. Again, as we all know that technology really gets updated literally nowadays every 6 months. There are people who find loopholes in all the systems, even however foolproof we make, people do find these loopholes. But we are very open to having suggestions from people who are in the know of things of technology. And this suggestion which has come from one of the viewers,
I want to point out to you, Aarti Sathi, nobody is saying that the government of India needs to come up with a system. No, one second. Nobody is saying the government of India needs to come up with a system that's completely foolproof. Heaven knows that if a 15-foot wall is what we are using to protect Aadhaar data, then we are very far away from coming up with a foolproof system, because we've obviously not understood how computers work, and that for a country that is leading IT across the world is both shocking and scary. But if you are conducting examinations, it is your job to know before anybody else that a paper has been compromised. You immediately replace it with a different paper. You should have your first your A stack, your B stack, your C stack, your D stack, and as if one paper is been compromised, you replace it immediately with another one. While the children are taking their examinations, you don't wait until all of it is done and tell them to retake an examination. That's disruptive,
they cannot do that.
And it's just plain torture.
No, they cannot do that until they verify the facts.
Okay, and how long does it take to verify the facts?
They cannot do that until they verify the authenticity of the leakage.
From 4th March onward, how were the facts verified?
How long does it take to verify?
It takes, ma'am. You cannot go on haywire information that is being done on WhatsApp. How can you penalize everybody? On that issue, maybe it was the wrong information.
So you don't consider this penalizing everybody?
Randomly come up and within hours.
You don't consider the fact that lakhs of students have to now come back and take the exam again, because the CBSE can't lock its stuff up behind a 15-foot wall, because the CBSE doesn't know how to protect. Now explain to me, someone who's defending the CBSE, explain to me why answer papers were being moved in the Delhi metro. Is that the best security that we could come up with? Why were the answer papers being moved and transported in the Delhi metro? Does anybody know?
It is hard
very
to
wrong.
hear that.
Extremely wrong. They've done that.
It is absolutely not a security measures. It is very dangerous.
Who is responsible then?
This is ridiculous. If we are going to say that the exam took place on the 4th of March, 20 days later. 20 days is how long it took for the CBSE to realize that its paper had leaked, and then to say, okay, let's do one thing. We'll just make everybody come back and take the exam one more time. So we'll just torture all these students. This is our only solution. You have to know if your paper has been compromised. You just have to know. And if you don't, then please quit your job and give your job to somebody else who can do a better job of it. And if the government thinks that, oh, you know, we can't do anything about it, then you are doing a terrible job also. When the futures of 12 or 24 lakh students in the 12th standard hang in the balance, and you're actually worried about who's going to vote in the next election, do the math. You should be able to do it. It's far less than 10th standard math. 24 lakh students in the 12th standard, 10 lakh students in the 10th standard, plus one mother and father for each of those students. Now count the votes across the country. Now tell me that these people don't matter. Now tell me that parents are not a vote bank that you should be very worried about. That first-time voters are not a vote bank that you should be very worried about. Tell me now that these people are not somebody you should be taking seriously, because obviously from the responses that have come from the government on all of this, you don't take any of this seriously. Scores of students. Do you people even remember what it is like to answer an exam? Have any of you even answered an exam? The stress on the entire family and on that poor child. To turn around now and say, oh, I'm sorry, we've just discovered one paper was leaked on WhatsApp, you're going to sort of have to take the whole thing again. Shocking. And if you're going to come in now and tell us that you empathize, I'm sorry, this is the opposite of empathy. This is the complete opposite of empathy. You don't know how many mornings, how many nights, how many months these students are waking up early, sleeping late, studying over and over again to be able to do the best job possible. You've disrespected all of that. You've disrespected the effort the parents put in. You've disrespected the time, the energy. You better be very, very worried about this. If there's an election coming up next year, you better be very, very worried about how this will impact the voting pattern of these parents. Maybe these governments need to be looking into our Facebook pages and into our data to see how upset we really are about the CBSE papers. Shame on you. Shame on you for letting us down one more time, and even worse, for letting our children down. You better find a handle on this very quickly. Arrest the people who did this and prove to us that you're really serious. Come up with a report card on what you've really done to solve this problem, and most importantly, sack the head of the CBSE. It's time for accountability. Thanks for watching.